all for coming out tonight to listen to me blab about systems design and how Copilot helped me understand it. My name is Allison Higgins, and just a little bit about me. I'm an Atlanta native, currently a Georgia Tech master's student, and I currently run Color Coded Enterprises, which is my consulting firm. We're actually doing some new deals this week with a 48-hour MVP AI sprint and executive branded websites. Please see me if you need either of those. And some of my interests include mentoring, accessibility, and community. I know I like to pull up the slides on my phone, so if you guys want to just take a second and do that's totally fine. Unfortunately, my LinkedIn is not in here, but just see me afterwards and we can connect. So let's start with what exactly is Copilot? How many of you use Copilot on a daily or weekly basis? Okay, over half the crowd. So this should be pretty straightforward. It's a system powered by OpenAI's LLMs, and it's basically a text prediction engine. So it's predicting what's going to come next based off of the comments surrounding files, naming, and structure. So Copilot doesn't necessarily do things differently from what standards already exist in your code base, but it is extremely sensitive to naming and structure. So if you rename a function clearly, Copilot will improve. If you write a precise comment, Copilot improves. And if your architecture is clean, Copilot improves. The same goes in the obverse, that if none of these things are in place, Copilot will be a mess. How I traditionally like to use Copilot is code walkthroughs. So what I'll go in and ask, instead of looking at a function and asking, what does this do? I'll ask, all right, can you give me a summary of this function? Can you explain what these inputs are for? Copilot's explanations can be shallow. They can also be wrong sometimes, but occasionally they can be surprisingly useful. So when you're prompting for a code review, when you're first entering a code base and you're just trying to get acclimated to it, what are some of the things that you guys specifically ask? Does anyone ever ask Copilot's help with getting acclimated to a code base? Okay. Maybe asking it to explain a function name or a variable name usage. I'm sorry for the duplicated line. That's Google's Nano Banana bad AI. Or specify certain output format, like summarize this in 3 concise bullet points. You can also do meta prompting to critique your code as well. So assuming different identities, identifying logical risks or security vulnerabilities, or suggesting refactors, which is also something I like to use Copilot for as well. So Copilot's limitations, I think, as a developer, force you to go and verify your logic. You can't just go with immediately what it says. Spot hallucinations, and also strengthen your own understanding of your code base and what you're trying to do and what issues there may be in there. I think it's best to kind of see Copilot as a mirror. If you can't tell when something's wrong, you need to deepen your own understanding as a developer, because you technically have to do the error correction in this case. So Copilot's limited explanations can be used to your advantage. It explains things based on patterns, but sometimes that leads to it inventing intent. So that's how we get those hallucinations that I spoke of earlier. And Copilot can also miss architectural context. So to work around these limitations, you can ask Copilot to critique your code, but while it's critiquing, ask it to explain its decision-making process. What assumptions is Copilot making? You can ask it to identify risks. Now, admittedly, security in Copilot isn't really that great, but we'll get there. And again, to suggest refactors. So while these aren't all the queries you can ask, these queries do reveal hidden coupling, surface naming ambiguity if you have two variables in different spots with similar names, unclear design. So this is where you can use Copilot to actually help get clarity in a code base and turn it into a clarity detector. So I spoke about systems design. Let's talk about how we ask Copilot about the system's architecture. When examining a brand new code base, here are some suggestions to help you accelerate your learning so that you can accelerate your development timeline. My favorite prompt as soon as I get into a code base and get comfortable, do my initial git pull, is I need an architectural walkthrough of this system. Include global states, inputs, outputs, etc. Another important question to ask, what type of backend framework is being used here? Is this microservices? What's going on here? And another question, how does this application handle data? And are and how does it handle CRUD, create, read, update, and delete operations as well? You can also use Copilot to gauge the system's performance as well with certain prompts. So this is just part of you understanding the system that you're working in, but also what about what it can do later? How can I scale this system for 5,000 users? Does this system have load balancing? If not, how can that be implemented? Does this system use caching? So I feel like using Copilot to this extent, it's more than a pair programmer at this point. Yes, it's a predictive model, but also it gives a very great kind of 5,000 feet view of your code base and allows you to point to specific areas or specific things that you might not be super clear on. So you can also use Copilot for getting tests together or generating your tests. Does anybody use Copilot for generating tests now? You see what I mean? So getting your unit test structure set up. The thing about Copilot is that it tends to only do the happy path test. It very rarely does the non-happy path test. So you might have to prompt it with asking about edge cases or boundary tests. Also, what failure modes exist here. You can also ask Copilot to help you identify missing validations, null handling, race conditions, and input sanitization. So Copilot does not model adversarial input well, but it does help you to test what is more likely to happen, what is likely to be like your user's interaction with the system. It's your job as a developer to still go back and test what's dangerous and what could potentially be system failure issues. So some practical prompting patterns that work, you can say, generate unit tests covering edge cases and failure scenarios. Write a unit test assuming malicious user input. At a Copilot workshop I taught about 2 weeks ago, we got our agent to we got to the point of using a test driven development agent, and it had a red mode and a green mode. The red mode to test for issues with errors or bad input, and the green mode to test all the happy paths. That was also a really good use of Copilot and really cool tool, and something I highly recommend using the different agents within Copilot if you have access to it. I think it's under pro accounts only though. But if you do have access through your company, I highly suggest checking it out. You can also ask what tests would break this function or what inputs would cause this function to fail. So these prompts demonstrate that quality output depends on the prompt quality. So a couple of risks and responsibilities. Some things to keep in mind when using Copilot, of course, is over-reliance. I don't want to say there's no such thing as over-reliance, but at the same time, you are ultimately responsible for what you write. You are ultimately responsible for testing your code, and you are ultimately responsible for understanding the system that you're building in. The subtle hallucinations, importing packages that no longer exist or have been reformatted, licensing ambiguity concerns, especially if you use Copilot to do your scaffolding for your projects. It may use technology which requires a license. And when you go to run it, things fail. Reinforcing poor patterns and weak code bases, that's also a potential issue with using Copilot. And of course, the security blind spots. So Copilot accelerates existing engineering culture. If your team skips testing now, Copilot's going to do the same. If your team writes messy code, Copilot is going to follow that same pattern. But if your team prioritizes security, Copilot improves. So the things I would say is strongest at are boilerplate. So setting up like your initial functions, not necessarily like with complex input. Also doing refactors, test scaffolding, documentation generation, and pattern translation, moving from like JavaScript to Python or so forth, and accelerating experimentation. Copilot is weakest at system level reasoning, architecture decisions, security modeling, and complex business logic interpretation. So remember, Copilot doesn't replace developers, it reveals them. It amplifies your clarity, structure, and blind spots. The real skill in 2026 isn't just writing code, it's knowing how to effectively collaborate with AI systems, from snippets to systems design. And that's my presentation.